beautiful Sunday. Good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GWEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, that's MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner on this journey of a lifetime is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all the transpired in the show tonight, make a date and grab a Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on the show. Tonight, we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are streaming live at Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Iron Port. Indeed, we shall be getting interactive with you, and so all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and send us your messages and comments via our WhatsApp line, which has changed today. It is 0538 037353. 0538 037353. And when the time is right and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I come.
Shut up!
Mame, Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Well up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from GWEL.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for GWEL Super XP Ron 95. GWEL, good energy.
GWEL is good energy. Electricity. Then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance Motor Policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating great opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We are now going to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry in the course of the week. And indeed, in the course of the week, the Ministry of Transport held its strategic review meeting in the central regional capital of Cape Coast. We have details of that particular story for you, plus the fact that you would have heard that the Ministry of Finance has made some appointments into the top hierarchy of the Customs Division of the Ghana Regional Authority, the entire body. So we have these stories for you. Please enjoy.
The Ministry of Transport has held its 2024 strategic meeting at the Central Regional Capital of Cape Coast. The event presented the Transport Ministry and its agencies with a unique opportunity to come together to apprise themselves on the programs and projects in the ministry and agencies, the extent of implementation, challenges, and way forward. The strategic meeting was also to ensure that the sector programs and projects are aligned with the overall national vision as set out in the President's Coordinated Program of Economic and Social Development Policies. The head of the Ghana Civil Service, Dr. Evans Agredako, entreated civil servants to embrace the technological advancement in the sector through good governance. He challenged the agencies under the Ministry of Transport to deepen professionalism, put in sustainability measures, enhance service delivery, accountability, and the use of best practices to develop the transport sector.
We need to put in sustainability measures to make our transport sector much more resilient, eco-friendlier, and much more efficient. We are fostering collaboration, and I'm happy that the key agencies are here, and even the supporting ministries or the collaborating ministries are here. What we are seeking to do is build synergies, not developing it's a whole country we are seeking to develop.
The Central Regional Minister, Juliana Marigold Hassan, has called the importance of the transport sector to every aspect of human life and the socio-economic development of the Republic of Ghana.
Transport, as we are aware, controls the economic outcome of every country, as transport is essential for the movement of goods and services in terms of our land, sea, air, and all, facilitating trade and commerce. Transportation systems enable businesses to access markets, deliver products to customers, and service raw materials.
The Minister of Transport, Kuku Furisiama, outlined some achievements that have been achieved in the maritime sector.
We have constructed a new liquid bulk terminal at Takoradi Port, constructed a multi-purpose terminal at Takoradi Port, of which phase 1 has been completed. The operation will commence around July. Completed the construction of 4-bed dedicated container terminal at Tema Port MPS. Installed 16 state-of-the-art ship-to-shore cranes and 3 rubber-tie gantry cranes as part of the route in the MPS terminal. Constructed 12 fish landing sites along the coast. Constructed port for Emina. Constructed the Jamestown fishing port, which is nearly completion. We are by 93%. We are developing the Bonkra integrated logistics terminal, which is ongoing. We moved 3 stamps along the navigable path of the Volta Lake. Completed an assessment study on the Volta Lake. Acquired a total of 7 high-speed patrol and rescue boats for surveillance and monitoring of Ghana's territorial waters. Acquired trash skimmers to remove rubbish and material from water bodies and protect sea life.
He urged the agencies to be innovative to meet the evolving needs of stakeholders and navigate the complexities of the industry.
It is important that we continuously strive to improve and innovate our respective fields of endeavor. This means that staying up to date with the latest industry trends, understanding the needs and demands of the people, and fostering culture of collaboration, accountability, and excellence.
The 2024 strategic meeting of the Ministry of Transport was attended by the board chairpersons and agency heads from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Shippers Authority, Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, Ghana Maritime Authority, among others. The Finance Ministry has announced new appointments at the Ghana Revenue Authority. The ministry, in a statement dated Tuesday, 9th April 2024, announced that Ms. Julie Isiam now heads the Ghana Revenue Authority as Commissioner General. She becomes the first woman to serve in that role and replaces Reverend Dr. Emishadai Osuamwa, who was relieved from his duties on March 27th. With a stellar career spanning several decades, Ms. Isiam promises a new era of leadership at the Ghana Revenue Authority, driven by expertise, experience, and commitment to sustainable transformation. The ministry also announced 3 others for various roles. They include Mr. Edward Apenti-Jamra, who is Commissioner of the Domestic Tax Revenue Division. Ms. Pearl Dakon is the Commissioner of Support Services Division, whereas Brigadier General Ziblim Ayorogo is the Commissioner of Customs. The ministry said these new appointments are expected to strengthen the GRA and ensure that targets are met in an environment of professionalism, fairness, and exemplary client care. The ministry thanked the outgoing leadership of the GRA for their dedication and contributions to the nation.
Right, so those were happenings in the port and shipping industry in our country in the course of the week. We're now going to take some international port and shipping news.
Titan Clean Fuels, a supplier of LNG and liquefied biomethane, or bio-LNG, and STX Group have conducted what is said to be the largest ship-to-ship delivery of LBM to Hapag-Lloyd's container ship in the port of Rotterdam. During the ship-to-ship bunkering operation, Titan's Alice Consolage bunker vessel delivered 2,200 metric tons of LBM to Hapag-Lloyd's Brussels Express ship, also known as the world's first large container ship that was converted to gas propulsion. This transaction marks Hapag-Lloyd's entry into using LBM as sustainable shipping fuel, representing the largest ship-to-ship bunkering operation known to date, the partners said. The Danish government has decided to ban the discharge of scrubber wash water into Danish territorial waters. From 1st July 2025, the discharge of scrubber wastewater from ships up to a distance of 12 nautical miles from the Danish coast will be prohibited by law. This is the content of a new political agreement concluded by the government and its stakeholders. Ships can use scrubbers to remove sulfur from the exhaust gases resulting from the combustion of heavy fuel oil. The report establishes that sulfur is washed out of the smoke, and in so-called open-loop systems, the scrubber wastewater is then discharged directly into the sea. According to the Danish Ministry of Environment, this has contributed to excessive concentrations of a number of heavy metals and tar substances in the marine environment.
So those were some international port and shipping news. We are now going for the word or phrase of the day. And remember, the word or phrase of the day has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. Today's word is dunnage.
Dunnage. Dunnage refers to wood or other material used in stowing ship cargo to prevent its movement.
All right, so welcome back. We are zooming into our discussion proper tonight, and tonight we are taking a look at how to prevent the diversion of transit cargo and what role the Customs Division of the Ghana Regional Authority can play. And this topic comes on the back of plans by the Customs Division to containerize cargo trucks. The plan is that they want to ensure that all trucks that carry or transport transit cargo are containerized so that there can be proper checks, there can be proper monitoring and all that through from the ports through to the final destinations of these transit cargos. Remember, Ghana's transit partners are our neighboring Sahelian countries of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. And we want to find out from Customs what has necessitated this particular move and some of the challenges, that we encounter as a country in our quest to have the fluid flow of transit cargo from our ports to our neighboring Sahelian countries. And this business is particularly very, very important to Ghana and then the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And so it behoves us to be able to find ways and means of ensuring that those that we have, we maintain, and those that we don't have, we grab and bring them to use our ports so that we can all enjoy the economic benefits that the transit trade brings. And so it gives me pleasure this evening to introduce to us Mr. Gerard Agbeto. Mr. Gerard Agbeto is the Chief Revenue Officer at the Ghana Regional Authority. He's also the officer in charge of transit. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Is this your first time on our import?
Yes.
I see. We are glad to have you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I do too. Thank you very much.
Also in the studios with us is Mr. Eric Ediama. Mr. Ediama is a council member of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, GIF, and he's also a freight forwarder. You can attest. And he also does some transit business as well. And so he'll be sharing his perspectives from the industry with us. And we also have customs, which is the body that takes a look, or that is in charge as far as the clearance of transit cargo in our port is concerned. And so, good evening, Mr. Diama. Your first time here?
Sure, good evening.
Good evening and welcome. We're glad to have you here on our port. All right, so let me begin with you, Mr. Agbeto. If you can, first of all, run us through or walk us through what the state of our transit business in Ghana at the moment is.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to the audience.
Absolutely, yes.
Right. And greetings from the Commissioner General and the Commissioner Customs Division.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
I'll start by saying customs business, it's about export and import.
Right.
Okay, it's the export that tends to become import.
Right.
Okay, between two countries. Okay, if a third country comes in, then that is where transit comes in, and then transshipment.
Right.
Okay, and then when transit comes in, taxes on the transits supposed to be suspended. Okay. So let me just give a gist on some of the customs suspense regime.
Right.
Customs has regimes about 9.
Right.
Which is export, temporary export, re-export, home consumption, that is the actual import.
Right.
And then temporary import, then re-import, then warehousing, transit and transshipment and ship stores.
Right.
Then free zones.
Okay.
So these are the regimes for customs procedures.
Right.
Right. And out of these 9, apart from export and import, the rest are all suspense regime.
Right.
And when customs says suspense regime, we mean the taxes assessed on those items or regimes are suspended.
Right.
For a bond cover until you change your intentions to enter the items or the goods into home consumption.
Right.
So due to that, they are suspended for some time. So transit, by definition, is when one imports goods through a particular country, and the taxes and duties are suspended for the person or the importer or the transitor to go for a bond.
Right.
The bond will cover the liability of the cargo.
Right.
Then the cargo or the goods will be placed under surveillance to exit the country for re-exportation. Then we said the transit has left or the goods has left the country.
Right.
But in any case, if the cargo or the goods does not leave the territory, then it will be deemed as diversion.
Right.
So it means it's going to enter our local market.
Right.
And then compete with.
It means instead of going to Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso,
exactly.
If it ends up in Ghana, that's called diversion.
A diversion.
Right.
Okay. And we have when we say transit too, it is in 2 folds.
Right.
We have the inbound transit and then the outbound transit.
Okay.
So any customs station or the port, that's 2 transactions, inbound and then outbound. Okay. But those that are going to we have transit from Côte d'Ivoire to Togo, passing through Ghana. And then we have transit also from Togo, vice versa, to Côte d'Ivoire.
Right.
And transit also initiate from the port to the hinterlands, where they are deprived of port access. Example is, like you mentioned, Niger, Mali, and then Burkina Faso. And at the same time, they also do transit But most time, people's how do you call it? Don't focus on that particular transit.
Right.
They also do transit from their end through our territories to the port to abroad.
Okay.
And sometimes there are controversies. Some time ago, when we deployed ICOMs in...
They do so premised on the fact that they don't have ports or
Exactly.
the sea in their
yes,
place.
that's why I said they don't have access to ports.
Yeah.
So they use our corridor.
Right.
So they also do transit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So sometime 2020, when we deployed ICOMs, 2020 June, there was some controversy. When the cargo comes from those hinterlands, when they get to our frontier, they treat them as export.
Right.
So I got wind of it, and then I instructed, and then we rectified it.
Right.
But even still, we have done it up to about 80% or something, but it's still not completed because at the port, when it gets to MPS, the carriers don't give them a proper narration, the origin of the cargo. So they also place it under export,
right,
which is also distorting our export data. So I spoke to some of the MPS chaps, and I think we'll have a meeting with the shipping line,
right,
and then address this issue.
Right.
Because like I said, custom business is about export and import.
Absolutely.
But when a third country comes in, then becomes a transit.
Right.
So there must be a narration of that thing.
Okay.
So this is all transit
is about. Awesome. So what's the state of the transit business in Ghana? If you would oblige us.
Yeah, transit is doing very well in Ghana. Yeah. Let me be. Some time ago, I joined the chorus.
Right.
And especially transit business from the ports to the hinterland.
Right.
Yeah. They say Ghana is losing the transit trade to other places. So I said, okay. And by my background, I was able to have access to the data.
Yes.
Manifest. Right. And I was going through the manifest. And aside, I said, wow, transshipment, Benin, transshipment, Togo, transshipment, Benin, transshipment. So it became alarming. But I said, oh, is that what is happening? But anyway, the fact that there's transshipment on the manifest to Togo and Benin doesn't mean we are losing transit trade to them.
Okay.
Because the vessel can call at the port, and then because we have a very good draft, about 16 meters draft.
Yes.
Yes, we are third in the sub-region.
Yes.
Cote d'Ivoire first, Nigeria before us. Cote d'Ivoire has 18-meter draft.
Okay.
So if a vessel is coming to the port and it has cargo meant for Benin and Togo, of course it will come to the closer one.
Right.
And drop them and go.
Absolutely.
So when I check, and I said, okay, that will be done. I said, okay, let me go further again to check the data. So what I did was I checked bill of entries, that is customs declarations.
Yes.
That are submitted to customs. I checked 2022.
Right.
And I noticed that we had about 32,000 plus bill of entries.
Okay.
Okay. Then
that's for transit.
For transit.
Okay.
From only the port.
Yes.
Then I checked for 2023, and I saw an increase of 34,700.
So from 32, it came to 34.
34. Okay. And that's okay. This is not enough. Let me go in now and check for last year. From January to first quarter, I just added 10 days about April to it.
Right.
And I had about 8,000 plus bill of entries.
That's from January to
10th April.
10th April.
Okay,
this month,
for last year.
Yes.
And it was around 8,000 plus. Then I checked for this year.
Yes.
Also from January to the same date.
Yes.
And last year one was 6,000.
Yes.
And this year one was 8,000.
8,000. Okay.
So an increase of about 2,000.
Yeah.
Bill of entries.
From January to April.
From January to April.
Yes.
Then I said, oh, this is not bad. Then I said, no, it can be deceptive.
Right.
Because I know how to handle data.
Right.
So I said, let me check the gross mass weight of all those BLs.
Right. That's a bill of lading.
The bill of entry.
Okay.
Okay, it's coming from the bill of lading.
Yes.
So it's the same thing.
Yes.
But they pick those from the bill of lading. So the same thing.
Right.
So I checked for 2023, the period I said.
Yes.
And it was let me get it right. It was
that's the tonnage.
The tonnage.
Yes.
That came into the country. It was
Quite appreciable, I guess.
Yes, it was, very quite appreciable. For 2023, the tonnage was 308 million metric tons.
Wow, 308 million.
Million metric tons for that short period I mentioned.
Wow.
Yes. Then I checked for the same period for this year.
Yes.
And that is 444 million metric tons for transit cargo through the port.
Wow.
And the difference is about 136,000 metric tons. So there's an increase.
Okay, so it means that it's not true. When people,
Yes, from the data.
People speculate
Exactly, yeah.
and bandy about that we are losing.
Exactly. Like I was saying, initially I joined the
countries.
chorus that way,
Yes.
but after my checks,
Yes.
because I have access to data,
Yes.
then I realized that, oh no.
Yeah.
So I can't go and stand somewhere and speak that way anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's an increase rather.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I'll come to you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Ediama, but let me still stick with you for a few minutes and find out from you how rampant this issue of diversion is in Ghana. How serious is it?
Not really. Not really.
Right.
But once a while, the unscrupulous guys are able to do something. Yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to relax.
Right.
Yeah, we have to step up, tighten the security so that they may not have any leeway to do whatever they would like to do.
Right.
Yeah, so I just came recently to the place, and last week we had a meeting with the stakeholders.
Right.
Because it is very, very important, because GRA, our core values, one of them, which is responsiveness.
Yes.
It means you must react quickly and professionally to your customers' need.
Right.
So they realize that we have to engage the customers and then gather data from them.
Right.
And when we get that data from them, we can use it to the best. So when we met, GPHA even said from last November,
yes,
they saved GRA Customs Division about almost 90 million cedis.
Right.
By implementing certain measures.
Right.
And I said, no, I have to follow up. Okay. So it became my interest. So I
Right.
went to the port, did my research, looked for it, and I got to know that, what they did was they request Ghana Link,
Yes.
our partner vendor, to start arming devices on the house-to-house containers that are moving from the transit terminal to the transit park prior to departure.
Okay.
So it curtails some of the diversion that the people may do within the first leg.
Right.
Then I said, so after investigation, I realized that it is not fully done.
Right.
So I spoke to my boss, and I told him that, okay, what we got to do is, I have requested Ghana Link. We'll be meeting tomorrow morning to ensure they have a dedicated devices, also to arm the unstuffed goods into the trucks, the open trucks, to the first leg of the transit yard.
Right.
Then they place a monitoring unit tools at the gate for customs to be monitoring the movement of the transit cargo from the terminal to the transit park.
Right.
Then there we will say for that leg, everything is complete.
Right.
Nobody can deviate from that particular route.
Correct.
Yeah. So we are going to work on that. And the other issue I've been hearing is like the overweight vehicles, overloading, when they get off on route, they also shed off the goods. You know. So I took about a couple of days at the transit park.
Yes.
And I did some feasibility studies. And I got to know that, okay, we can get a solution. Because firstly, when you submit the customs declaration, transit declaration to customs, you have to indicate something we call sub-consignment breakdown.
Right.
Actually, it is how many cargoes may go to one truck. Yeah, sometimes more than one may go to one truck depending on the bill of entry. Sometimes just one-to-one mapping, sometimes one-to-many mapping. So when it is overweight, they go and then they shed off, and then it results into different things. So I went to the GPHA weighing room that we can curtail, we can stop that thing. So I went to the motorway weighing bridge, and I had a conversation with them. So now, henceforth, when the truck is overweight, they should flag customs.
Right.
And customs will input the details of that truck, the overweight, into the system.
Right.
But it will not be approved. Movement printout will not be issued.
Right.
So until they set off the weight, and then they reweigh, and then we are flagged before it is approved, and then it leaves so that we can control the first leg movement of what people deem to be shedding off and creating problems along the way.
Right.
So these are the first two measures
you are taking.
You have taken.
All right. So with the issue of the study or the research that you did with respect to the transit trade, you said, if I got you right, it was limited to the ports.
Yes, just at the ports.
So the exit points, entry points, we
haven't gotten to there.
Oh, okay.
I just started this about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I haven't gotten to that place yet.
All right. So, Mr. Ediama, let me come to you and take your thoughts on what you think the situation of our transit trade in Ghana is at the moment.
Thank you for having me, and a very good evening to US. I would also agree with my brother here that the transit business is thriving well.
Right.
Only problem we are seeing as operators transit business is the cost of doing the business.
Okay.
That is the major issue that we have at hand.
Okay.
Having said that,
that's the cost of doing the transit business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Having said that, the volumes, as my brother has said, he is quoting from data that I have no
access to.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. But on the ground, what we know is that, of course, we are losing some volumes to neighboring Togo here. A typical example I can give is one major shipping line which has been operating here over the years.
Right.
And their headquarters is newly built here in Tema. But they made Togo port their hub for the whole of West Africa.
See.
Meantime, between Togo port and Tema port, when it comes to security, quality of service,
the port of Tema is
way ahead of.
Sure.
So you ask yourself, what will advise somebody to make such a move? Definitely, there are some undertones.
Right. Do you mind sharing those undertones with us if you know them?
Not really, because the actual decision made by the shipping line, I will not know why they decide that.
Yeah.
But as an operator, we know about certain regulations that affect the transit business.
Right.
Like my brother has said, transit business is an international trade practice.
Absolutely.
And the goods are just supposed to pass through our corridor to another country. And we are obliged to facilitate that.
Right.
But you realize that if the trade is not flowing well and it is not conducive for the importer or the trader who is using the facility, they will be finding ways of reducing their problems.
Right.
Okay. So I can say that from where I sit, we are shedding some volumes to our neighboring country.
Right.
Because the Togo port itself, now they are seeing...
The Lome port.
The Lome port. They are now seeing increase in volumes. So definitely those volumes are coming from somewhere.
And you are pretty much sure that they are coming from Ghana?
Apart from Ghana, when you take our West Coast, unless Nigeria or maybe somewhere Douala or something, or even Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, but the actual port of preference is our Tema port.
Right.
In the sub-region, related to our neighboring landlocked countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They prefer to do business here because it is safe, it is secured. The only problem is the regulations and the cost. Of course, customs are mandated to regulate the trade.
Absolutely.
Within the laws of Ghana. And no trader will kick against the laws of any country. But sometimes they go way beyond the laws and the regulations and introduce new things that are happening on the ground.
You mean customs?
Customs. A lot of things that they introduce just because of this diversion that we are discussing. But practical results has to show that the new rules and regulations they are introducing are they yielding results.
What are some of these new regulations, if you would oblige us?
Okay. They are trying to implement something like containerized.
Yes, I just mentioned.
Like you have mentioned earlier on. It will not change anything. It will just increase cost of doing the business. Because we already have containerized goods that are in transit every day.
Right.
A whole ship will come and more than 100, 200, 300 containers, they are all in transit. And it's containerized.
Right.
So if you are still having problem about diversion, then you should actually look at how the operation of the whole trade is going. Not necessarily the covered means of conveying the goods.
The goods.
You understand? Because the container itself, they are even more secured than the ones that are going to be fabricated.
Yeah, on the trucks,
On the trucks. These trucks, it is not government trucks or GRA, GAPOA trucks. They are owned by private companies, private individuals. So now, if somebody wants to just come to Ghana, Tema Port, and carry...
You have to go and get your truck containerized. They fabricate.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, if the person is able to even do that, that means that his transportation is restricted to this cargo carriage from only Tema Port and this. Meantime, a trader or a business person should have a flexibility of doing business. If you go and build a cargo container on your articulator, it means that you cannot do any other thing apart from that. But no trucker would do that. So, fine. I don't know what actually informed
that decision.
Yes, it came up our last meeting.
So your thought or your thinking is that if that is done, we might lose some other,
further business.
Business, okay.
Further business, because the only thing that is going to impact the trader is the cost. Mind you, these goods, they are just passing through our corridor. They get to their country before they go and pay the taxes on them.
Right.
Just like Gerard said, that within Ghana, the taxes are suspended.
Yes.
So they get to their borders and now go and pay the taxes there. So if that's the transit is costing them this much, before they go pay their taxes, they will have to do their calculations well. You understand? This is just real.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are saying that the rules as it is now, even on the books, long time ago, transit business has been with us forever.
Yeah.
If the rules are followed to the latter, monitored by customs and all the authorities, the rules as they stand now are enough to do the business. The new things that they are bringing up, they are not going to improve on anything.
Right.
They are not going to stop diversion. Because even the people who we are targeting as involving in the diversion, they're not even paying attention to all this thing that we are doing. So you end up disturbing people who are doing legitimate business. You understand? The people who are actually coming to the port declare that this is what I want to do. This is the only business they do here. They stay here morning, afternoon, evening, all day, all week long. It is only transit business. Customs some time back had this profiling of traders. Okay, let's see what happens to one person that you have arrested diverting goods. If diversion has become so much of a problem, let's at least get one person. You have seen them, you have been arresting them. What happens to them? Which will serve as a deterrent to anybody who is sitting back and also having that thought. You see, it shouldn't be like, oh, you have arrested somebody who has diverted this. Okay, so because of that, let's do this. And whatever happens to this person is in the background. I am in the trade, I don't know anything about it. Customs, we have a very good working relation with them to the extent that when we want to even do our renew our operational licenses, we all have, all freight forwarders belong to one or the other association. We give letters for customs.
To your members,
For customs to renew our members' operational license. But as to whether they even revert to us that this member, Asimesi, does it belong to GIF? Does it belong to Achag? Does it belong to any of us? What can we also do, to our members? That will deter them from doing it. Because if you are the one giving the person operational license and the person doesn't have operational license, you will start looking for somewhere to work from. And it is not very, very convenient for a business person who is actually in the business to going from one office to the other. Today, he might get somebody to do the work on his behalf, but that is profit sharing, and that is losing the business. Because if you are an importer and you bring me this thing to be carried from here to, and then I go to a third person to help me carry this to you. At the end of the day, if you are very careful about your business and want to protect your business, why wouldn't you contact the third person? Because he is established and he is dealing with your goods through your middleman. So it means that your agent that you are dealing with is just a middle person carrying document to another person's office. It's a disincentive for people to be doing it. In every society, there will be bad nuts.
Absolutely.
But like you have said, we have evidence that over 95% people involved in this transit business are doing legitimate business. Okay. Now, we know that transit business is under suspense regime. So the taxes on them has been suspended. For now, if you want to do transit on this item, after you have your valuation through customs, you post a bond that you pay to the insurance company. You pay for a tracking device that's going to be on the truck carrying this. Apart from that, for certain goods that customs classify as high duty items, they now want human escort. Okay, we have had human escort long time ago, before technology has come with all these tracking devices. Okay, but if you are a trader and you want to encourage people to do business at your port, for the same transaction, we pay the tracking device on the declaration. We go to insurance company and pay another bond to cover the same ABC. And then now, on top of that, for the same transaction, we are going to pay for human escort. Okay. Choose one so that we know that, okay, if we are passing a declaration and the declaration is
But posting the bond, getting the insurance is very imperative. It's very necessary because it helps you.
That is the law. That is very important.
Absolutely, and then also tracking the cargo to ensure that they don't get missing is also very key.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yes.
So now the third person who is the human escort. All these ones come with cost.
Okay, so there seems to be some duplication here because you have the tracker and you have a human escort.
And then you have the insurance bond.
Okay.
All involves money. Okay? And every business person who is doing his work, he looks at the cost of doing the work.
Yeah.
So if the tracker is not effective, as virtually now you are declaring, but you monitor the tracker, the device is monitored by customs and ICOMs.
Right.
They give you the software, you monitor where the car is anytime. If that is not enough, if there's any diversion, the insurance company that has issued a bond to cover those taxes, how are they liable? How many times has customs fall on insurance companies to pay for whatever
because people have diverted,
taxes have been suspended? Okay, we know that there are issues between customs and insurance company when it comes to that. But one way or the other, a certain premium has been paid to cover a bond sum.
Right.
So even if it is not enough, fall on them, collect that money first.
Yeah.
Let's see something happening to whoever is caught in diverting goods.
Right.
Not meant for Ghana. Those are the clear signs that will send signal to everybody that, hey, if you are caught carrying this thing, in pretending to be sending it out,
right,
and you are caught in Ghana, consuming the goods in Ghana, this A, B, C, D is what is going to happen.
Okay. All right. Let me come to Mr. Beto. And he made mention of the fact that if these trucks are containerized, it might pose a challenge. Generally, it would affect trade because some people might choose not to use the ports here again because they think that it's going to add up to the cost of doing business. Now, I just want to find out from you what the overarching objective is for trying to introduce this particular policy.
Yeah, like he said, we met, that was last week, Friday, we had an engagement and this thing came up. So we told them that we'll arrange an engagement again with the transporters.
Right.
So that we'll look at how we can address this issue. Yes, before we came here, we had a discussion about this, and I was telling him that we started using these open vehicles so many years ago. Okay, and then we need to advance and do something. But for the safety purposes, at least if your stuff are in an enclosed vehicle and delivered to you, you like it. It protects the stuff and so many things, security-wise. And then at the same time, too, we may not need so many things like the electronic cable to run around the trucks and on. We can just arm them easily and then they go. So these are some of the essence. And then it will also help in reducing some of those who are doing diversions.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. How containerizing the trucks would help nib the issue of diversion in the bud?
Yeah, like what he said, how is it going to help? Fine. I agree with him that it's not going to stop the diversion if somebody says it's going to do diversion anyway. Yes, but at least for the safety of the goods, and then at the same time, somebody tampering with the items.
Right.
Okay. Sometimes some of them will open it and then offload some.
Pilfering.
Yes, and pilfering and all those kind of things. At least it will reduce it. To reduce that.
Right.
And then to the question of like the escort, he said, fine. Yeah, it's a worry because they are paying for tracking devices and they are paying for escort. But from Section 95 of our Act 891 2015, Section 95 clause or subsection 6 said Commissioner General, let me put it, said a person shall not transport goods under customs escort unless the Commissioner General considers it necessary to do so.
Right.
Yeah, it came up because there are suspicion that some high-risk goods are likely to be diverted, and because of that, we have to place escort on them. Yeah, so it's not the entirety of the whole transit trade. Yes, but beside that, we will also be working towards to bring or instill new developments and things, at least to reduce what people may think people are diverting or something, to strengthen or make the system more robust.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But for now, there are some high-risk goods like rice, tomato paste, cooking oil, vegetable oil, ethanol, alcohol, diapers. You can see a lot of people are bringing them now, a lot. So directives from Commissioner General, that we should ensure that they put escort on them. Yeah, and some of them are suspicious, So when you see somebody who has even involved in diversion else, sometimes, so we put on those people.
When you say high-risk goods, you mentioned rice. How does rice become a high-risk good? Because when you say high-risk goods, one is tempted to say dangerous goods.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's quite different. Dangerous goods in let's say explosives or something.
Exactly.
But when you categorize rice as high risk, then it's kind of like...
in a risk assessment profile.
Okay.
In the risk assessment profile on transit, everything flags red.
Right.
So when we say it's high risk, because we say it's high risk because, like I explained, the taxes they run has been suspended.
Okay.
So it means it's open.
Right.
And
means taxes have not been paid on them yet until they get to the destination. So while en route,
they can easily enter the local market.
Awesome, I get it.
So it becomes a high risk commodity.
Okay.
So this is it. So with the escort, we'll have to do a lot of work because I was doing some research and I got to know that even the transporters or the trucks are not validated in the system. Okay, so any truck can just put in and then you go. So it's something that we are going to work towards now.
Right.
Then we told them, we will engage them. We're supposed to have a meeting with the transport union, even Wednesday, and start doing these things, raise registration of the trucks, for them to get validation from DVLA, make sure the chassis number goes with the license plate and everything. Then we input all into ICOMS, so that if those trucks are not registered in ICOMS, you can't use it, because it's like you go to the declarant, you take the documents to him with the truck, you just key and then it's gone.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. It should be validated from a source. So this is what I did the research and I got to know that. And not only that, even the transitors too, we have to validate them from their various representatives, the Shippers Council.
Right.
From their end. You have all of them here. So they have to validate it and go. And not only that, even I got to know, I did another research, I got to know that even the transit declarants, they are not registered. We must sieve all these things and profile them.
Right.
And then the good ones are those who will do the job. Was it that Thursday or so? Thursday was holiday. Wednesday I was in the investigations office and there was an issue of something like that.
Right.
Then the guy was sitting down and the guy told me that when he keyed the data and he added 2 to it, then it went through. It means it's not validated. You guys know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we have to ensure that we sit with all the stakeholders, listen to them, their needs professionally, and gather the information and then streamline, and all will go away to reduce what my brother is saying.
Awesome.
For the legitimate, compliant transitors to do their business.
Okay. Right. This is our report here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are taking a look at how to prevent diversion of transit cargo, and the role that customs would have to play in ensuring that. And the good news from Mr. Gerard Agbeto is that we are not losing transit cargo. He's done his checks, he's done his research, and it indicates that we are appreciating in terms of, transit trade. We pray that it goes on that way. Even though Mr. Ediama thinks that, yes, we are losing some trade to Togo, we have not been able to verify or authenticate that claim. But that's what he says. He says Ghana is losing some, transit goods to Togo. We are yet to verify that, and we would confirm whether that is actually the situation or not. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the discussion. Please do stay with us.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really? Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me tank mama wati. Boss, fill my tank with Super XP Euro 95.
Roll up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got here first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him. Hey, go for mami.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects, and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302 246 319 or 0243 690 492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. This is our import, remember, here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are taking a look at how to prevent the diversion of transit goods and the role that customs would have to play. Indeed, not only customs, but other stakeholders as well. And so tonight we have in the studios Mr. Gerald Agbeto. He's the Chief Revenue Officer at the Ghana Regional Authority. He's also the officer in charge of transit. And indeed, also in the studios is Mr. Eric Adiama, who is a council member of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, GIF. He's also a practicing freight forwarder who is into the transit trade. So we would activate the phone lines for you now to call in and contribute to the discussion. When the time is right, we shall also share your messages with the rest of the world. Remember, the number to dial is right there on your screen: 020-5528-353, 020-5528-353. You can call in and contribute to the discussion. Let me come to you, Mr. Agbeto. Still in the research that you conducted on transit trade. Now, the element that was missing from the information you gave us is the free on board. That's FOB.
Exactly.
If you can walk us through what you saw during your research, what you came up with.
Yeah, when I did the research, I have mentioned the mass already. So with the FOB for 2023, on the period, we mentioned January to 10th April.
Right.
Yeah, I had about almost $1.5 million. $1.5 trillion dollars.
From January to
10th April.
10th April.
Exactly.
2024.
No, 2023.
2023.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then for 2024, the same period, it's about $4.3 trillion. So
right.
Increase about three times.
Wow.
So with this, I told you,
yes.
Initially I joined the chorus, say we are losing trade to Benin, we are losing our trade to Lome, but it is not that way from the data.
Okay, you come in.
I want to say something small.
Yes.
The FOB element that he has mentioned, it might only be true to some extent because generally the cost of everything has multiplied.
Right.
So if you do a research and then an FOB figure you got in 2023 is 1.something trillion.
Right.
And then in 2024, it jumps by
three times.
Yeah.
Threefold. It does not necessarily mean that
the volumes
that
are
jump
high.
is because of the volume. It is just the cost itself. Because over the period, the freight of goods has increased more than 10 times.
I agree with you.
And the FOB you're talking about, the FOB, it is the amount in foreign
the cost
land before it gets here.
Yes, before it gets here.
Right.
Before it gets here.
Freight
So the
insurance
freight,
is not inclusive.
so the freight alone has also increased.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't add the freight.
Oh, you didn't add the freight.
Just for a correlation to the mass, gross mass of the cargo.
Absolutely.
Just in relation, I was just correlating it.
Yeah, sure.
But not necessarily basing on that.
Absolutely.
But the research actually based on the volume. The
volumes,
For that one, it has.
If you bring I just want to say that the FOB issue is subjective.
Right.
Because the cost of every goods and service actually has gone up multiple folds.
Right.
Okay. But I'm not based on the FOB. I'm based on the weight rather.
Right. The weight.
Just to correlate it, because the weight goes with the FOB.
Absolutely.
But the whole thing is on the weight.
Right.
You see, the thing is that even the weight that he's talking about, if you take bulk cargo, one vessel comes in with rice meant from Mali, 11,800 tons. The cost of rice has jumped more than 5-10 times over a short period of time.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. But Tony is on the line once again. I think he's gotten us we've gotten a better line. Hello, Tony. Once again, welcome.
I was saying the transit documents are just like normal import documents. But if you watch their invoices, most of the time their invoices are not genuine invoices. They are not invoices that are from the sources where they bought the goods from. They just sit in Tema and produce invoices and declare what they are supposed to take across the other country, misdescribing items. It's just the transit rate is really in a mess. So if there's custom officer there really wants to be serious about this transit rate, they should, because that is where Ghana is losing a lot of revenue.
All right.
They are losing a lot of revenue. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Tony. I don't know whether you have anything to say with respect to what he says. Mr. Gerald,
yes.
Mr. Agbeto.
Right.
What Tony is saying.
What Tony is saying.
From that side.
Yeah, what Tony is saying. So,
fake invoices he mentioned.
Yeah, it is true. That is why we are having challenges on values.
Right.
Okay, the values they bring, sometimes you can't believe it. Like I saw one, I was going through the data, and a rice declared value is about 0.40 cent per kilo. Very low.
0.40
cents per kilo. Okay? And those that are coming into home consumption, that taxes will be paid on them. They are using about 0.8, 0.9, 1.2, $1, and etc. So, due to that, the authorities are working on that so that they can uplift the value. Because, and this is another gap measure to stop diversion.
Absolutely. Okay.
Because when we shoot the price, the values up to equivalent of those one coming into home consumption, and you go and then you divert, because you are going to get a bond sum on that value.
Right.
So when you divert, that is what we are going to collect from the insurance company. Then we add the penalties to it.
Right.
So that will deter those who get themselves involved in diversions.
Right. Okay. I'll come to you so that you can also give us a response. But let me go on to the lines and welcome P, who is calling us from Tema. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Awesome. Please go ahead.
Okay, please. As was the chief in charge was saying that the valuation and the import duty are the same. The transit and the import valuation is the same. Because of the diversion issue, that you need to accept that issue. That is true. That you need to have a standard one with the import one. The problem we have now is the human escort. Upon the insurance policy that we pay it after with the value that we have that we pay for the insurance bond, the premium. Upon everything, what we don't understand is, I think the in charge also mentioned about act that if the general commissioner thinks that some goods need to go with human escort, he will give. But does the law say that in that human escort, should the importer pay for it, or it's from their own GRA who will pay for that escort? Plus the device that we pay to ICOMS to monitor everywhere the car goes. Because when it comes to diversion, everybody is attacking the agent and the importer.
Right.
But the main shareholder, who is maybe something like that, he helps in that act, will be the customs. Because when a BOE is to go to maybe Hamilton or Aflawo, everywhere around the border, if your BOE is not clear in the system, by all means they will catch you. So who is the person who cleared the BOE that the car has reached there? We need to bring that one too. And the woman escort today are talking about, they don't give receipts. They don't give receipts so that you show to the importer that custom are charging woman escort. This is the receipt.
Right, Fee. Thank you very much. I think your point is well made. He's talking about, the kind of duplication that we are talking about, the customs, the escorts, the bond from insurance companies, and even
and
the
then
devices.
the escort.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
like a 3-in-1
the sub-region, the ECOWAS.
Yes.
We have something called SIGMAT.
Yes.
The SIGMAT is electronic exchange
of
customs data on the movement of transit cargo among the customs cooperation in West Africa.
Yes.
Okay. This particular is an add-on or very robust that is aiding the transit trade.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we had some glitches just recently. But our developers are working on it. I was monitoring it from the Monday. We're doing monitoring, and it's now moving up. The essence of this SIGMAT is such that an example, when you the process, the bonded transportation, and it's released from the transit park,
right,
and it's going to say Togo. We are connected to Togo and Cote d'Ivoire for now.
Right.
Left to connect to Niger and Burkina Faso. We have done everything, testing, but due to the crisis around those places, we suspended it. So very soon we'll connect them and then we'll solve the problem. It will send the message to the final destination, which is, let's say, Lomé.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, it will send the message to Aflao or Akano at our Ghana side that this cargo is coming. The weight, the description, the value, and everything. Then you have a common MR number, that is a movement reference number that will be used to identify the cargo or the truck within all the ECOWAS region, wherever you key it into the system. So the systems, the computer system exactly has been connected. Then he gets. Someone is on the line.
Yes, someone is on the line. So when I come back, we continue. I understand we have Habib calling us all the way from the northern regional capital, Tamale. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother.
Awesome. Good to have you. Please go ahead.
Mine is just a small contribution I want to make as to whether you will take it or not. Hello.
Yes, hello. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
It's about a vehicle.
Okay.
Yes, it's my own vehicle. I bought it scrap in Tamale.
You've got what in Tamale?
Then I bought a vehicle.
Yes, in Tamale.
A car.
Yes.
Scrap in Tamale.
Yes. Is it a truck?
Scrap, yes, scrap in Tamale.
Okay.
And I went and bought engine, bought the tires, bought the doors, made it now, it's smooth travel. And GRA people, they seized the car. So when I went forward, they said, no, the car is not registered in the country, and for that matter, I'm going to forfeit the vehicle. And I said, you can see it's scrap.
All right, so
it's a scrap.
Yes, Mr. Habib, thank you very much for the concern. My production team will take your contact and then we'll get back to you, please. We'll do that. Thank you very much indeed, Habib, who called us.
Yeah. So
from Tamale. Yes, I think you have been itching to. But
let me just land. Right. So the SIGMAT will send information to Togo.
Yes.
And then to our border. Then when the trucks get there, they will examine the truck, see everything is intact, and they also will update the system.
Right.
Then if it is a Kojovia that's sharing with Aflao or Akano Nope, then they also have access to the data now.
Right.
Then they also will do the update, check everything, and then do that. Then the truck will move finally to maybe Lomé, where they will conduct the examination. When they conduct the examination, according to the details, and everything is fine, then they will okay it. Then we'll get the information that the trucks has really arrived.
Right.
Unlike the first time where we use document and we go and then we stamped.
Yes.
I saw, because the system went down recently, I saw one of the Deputy Commissioner Operations written something that ensure that it's stamped certificate and everything. But the ICOMs, the SIGMAT take care of those things. An example was last year, around October, September, I went in Aflao.
Yes.
And we have to go to Akano. There was a problem.
Right.
Yeah, the SIGMAT brought the message to us, to Akano. And when they brought the message and the container arrived, they opened the container in Lomé.
Right.
And it was a hide. And they took some. They said they got that, what they say, they got market. So they took some of the goods out of it.
Right.
So when they brought them and they did assessment, the gross weight of the hide was not up to what the message that came.
Yes.
But the value was perfect.
Okay.
So the authorities there decided to do the assessment using the value.
Right.
So it became a big issue.
Yeah.
People are saying they are not agreeing. So we fortunately went there with the previous AC Transit was in charge, and we have to go and solve the problem. So we sat with them, and then it's okay. The essence of the SIGMAT does not mean when the value comes, you use what is on the value.
Right.
You have to examine, and then when you see the actual quantity, you can do the calculation, use the value.
Yeah.
Then you send information back to them that the container did not come fully. This is the quantity that came.
Yeah.
So that they can surcharge the person
That's right.
in the country.
Right.
So this is the essence of the SIGMAT.
Okay. All right. So, yes,
Yeah,
please come in.
There's a few comments on some of the points that my brother has raised. The SIGMAT, I'm taking it from the SIGMAT.
Yes.
It's a good project that is in the works. It's not 100% complete.
Yes.
But virtually, what ICOMS is doing now is about the same. If you take the declaration, then as soon as the document is finished in the port of Tema, when they are dispatching, the exit point, they can have that same information. But it is still a good thing to do. Number two, I'm coming back to the containerized trucks. If we take a bulk cargo, like rice, sugar, and all those things, how those things are going on transit, how do you take containerized cargo to carry rice from Tema Port to, let's say, Niger? Okay? That is very difficult to do. And sometimes, because of the journey, even food items, they can even get spoiled. But the containerized cargo thing, like I said, we agreed in our last meeting that we will do more consultation on it and discuss how we'll move forward with that.
Yeah.
And then about the registered declarants.
Yeah.
Every declarant that is working as a freight forwarder is legally registered to operate transit business.
Right.
Because all the information about the declarant is with customs.
Right.
If they put your name, your declarant number, they know exactly the company.
Right.
So if we talk about registering the members to do transit business, okay, you can do it as one of your procedures.
Yes.
But I don't think that it is something that should deprive any agent from passing a...
No, if you are not of good standing.
Anybody who is already registered
right.
and he's got his operational license and has not done anything for you to revoke it.
That's what I'm saying.
Is legitimate.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's legitimate and all the information are there.
Right.
And then talking about the registration of the vehicles and all those things, those ones, we have all been working on that same project for a very long time. And we know that it is important that we identify some of the trucks doing their business, like it is right now. A lot of them have registered, but you use the correct way that they have to update their system.
Absolutely.
Right? So if maybe you don't have the information on all the trucks working, it does not mean that they are not registered to do the business. Because Port Authority, they also insist and check on all those trucks before they load them.
Right.
And then the weight that he has said. Last meeting we had, this weight issue came up about overload and then weight sharing.
Yeah.
And Port Authority, they have a very good system of weighing their cargo in their port.
Right.
Okay. The same Ghana Highways that mandated that scale that is in port. It's the same Ghana Highways operating the one at the motorway. But you realize that you leave the port of Tema with certain weight on your declaration. You get to this thing. It's an issue that we have agreed that they have to work on.
Right.
Because they've seen that the weight that are coming from the port are different from the one they are realizing here. But that is also on them.
Yeah.
But the thing is that in all this turn and twist, there is always cost involved.
Yeah.
And the importer
bears
the cost.
Okay. All right. This one says, I think we have barely 2 minutes to go. This one says, good evening, I am Port. It's from Ohima. That's Paulina Brokwa.
Yes.
Yeah, she says, I would like to find out whether the human customs officer actually escorts the goods to the exit point from consignments where escort fees are collected. And she says, I would like to find out whether a high-risk escorted goods have ever been diverted, and what punitive measures or measure was meted out to the escort officer. That's for you. She continues, I'm happy about the intervention of tracking from the maritime terminal to the transit ICD, that's the Inland Container Depot. However, I would like to find out whether that bit of the tracking is at the cost of the tracker and at how much. And she concludes by saying that also, does Ghana Link e-track have enough of such devices in a manner that doesn't result in delays and by extension cost to the trader? We have been experiencing some delays with tracker allocation, and I hope the new measure isn't going to aggravate the situation. Please tell our Honorable Council member, Mr. Adiama, that we are watching him live, and she gives the sign of you too. All right, so if you can just briefly respond.
It's not going to add any cost.
Right.
Yeah, what we agreed on is the devices that they use. We are going to dedicate, we are going to look, we are going to do a research and look at how many volumes comes from the transit terminal to the transit park within a week.
Right.
Then we'll dedicate that number pieces for that particular operation, so that it will be lose and tie.
Okay.
You tie it, you lose, you take it back.
Yeah.
So that one will be different from what.
All right. Okay. This one says, good evening to everyone. Please ask the customs officer if insurance companies are liable for any items diverted, and if so, can he tell us the claims for 2022 and 2023 from Mr. Solomon Ade? If it's Solomon Ade, I know, then I say a very good evening to you. It's been a pretty long while. This one says, the evidence is right here. Is the reason why most importers are transiting their goods to other countries. How can you charge me this amount to clear a car? Well, I think this is the man that called, Habib from Tamale. My production team will take it up, and then we can get this issue resolved, and then we can get back to you, Habib. This is where we draw the curtain on tonight's edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Remember, we're taking a look at how to prevent diversion of transit cargo and the role of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. The good news is that we are not losing transit cargo. Research conducted by Customs, that's Mr. Gerald Agbeto, has indicated. You can watch the brief version of Iron Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. and you get the details from there. Remember to also grab a copy of the BNFT on Thursday. You see the details there. So say a big thank you to Mr. Gerald Agbeto, Chief Revenue Officer, Ghana Revenue Authority. He's also the officer in charge of transit, and indeed to Mr. Eric Adiama, Council Member, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. He's also a practicing freight forwarder. He's into the transit trade. So thank you so much. We'll also say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, Well PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, that's MPS, and Phoenix Insurance. My name is Kennedy Mona. God willing, next week, Sunday, we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Eye on Ports. And remember to keep watching the rest of our programs here. We wish you a super week ahead. And we say thank you so much for choosing us. Thank you for being our guest. God willing, we shall meet again. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the